Yeah, I did experiment with it. It was like, whoa, it was too bright. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Three of Cups. And this is a card of celebration. That, you know what I immediately thought of is being, maybe around the age of 30 or whatever, and going to all these, being, bridesmaid for your friends, or if you're a man, being a groomsman. And I don't think, though, that men do this. I think this is more of a female thing where you're like, I want to be, I want this to happen too for me. Why am I always the bridesmaid and never the bride? And um, it also can be really bonding with women. And Scorpio's a feminine sign. So it tends to make women really conscious of being a woman. Like, I'm a Sagittarian, and I've always, when I was young, I was a tomboy, even when I wore dresses, and I don't feel like a woman. You know what I mean? Oh gosh, it's so late at night. Getting a little loopy. But yeah, I really think that the water sign women identify uh, from their femininity. Not talking about the typical femininity, but just that sense of being a woman and being surrounded by women. So that can also play into your love life, because if you're someone who has had trouble with dating, and of course, Scorpio is a sign that is very, I would say, like, especially, you're just you're just a different breed, and you love very deeply, and you might get disgusted if someone doesn't seem to bring that gravitas to the table that you have when it comes to love. And so it's hard for you, I think, sometimes to meet that person that really gets it when it comes to love and relationships. So in the meantime, you can be kind of hanging with your girlfriends if you're a woman, and just kind of like commiserating if you're all single, like, and that can lead to stereotyping men, talking about men in a disparaging way. And so in some cases that might even be something that is creating negative energy around the issue of it. Now, obviously, I realize not all people are heterosexual, so I'm speaking specifically of that type of dynamic. But it might even just be that you're in your own place right now where this is something you want to do. You don't necessarily want to be in a relationship. You just want to socialize and all of that good stuff. So you have to get straight with yourself. If you think to yourself, oh, I really want to be in a relationship, ask yourself, is that really true based upon my actions, my reactions to certain situations? Sorry, this is all whack, but it's late at night, so I don't really feel like I want to adjust anything. I just want to put these out here. So in the past position, we have the Seven of Wands, and this can be a card where you may have felt a little bit under siege. So whether it's in a past relationship where you always felt like the other person didn't get you, and you always felt like you had to defend yourself, or if you're in a current relationship where that's going on, that can sour you to relationships as well. And that can lead you to kind of take comfort in your friendships, because you feel that they're the ones who really understand you and these other people don't. And whether that's true or not is anyone's guess, but it can lead to a person um, maybe sometimes feeling on the defensive, although this is in the upright position. So I would interpret this in a much more proactive and positive way. The higher message is the Ace of Wands. This is about, enthusiastic new beginnings. And also, I would say about, your own way that you assert your independence, assert who you are in life. And maybe for Scorpio, it's not, I'm not talking about PR where you're trying to sell yourself to anybody. It's more about even your own sense of independence. Because even though Scorpio people, sometimes they do tend to live alone without relationships because they want to avoid shallow relationships as well as relationships that may be very passionate but not necessarily are still where you feel like you really are one person with that other person. You really want to merge. So the Ace of Wands is a very independent, kind of a sovereign energy. So I feel like being able to appreciate that as well is super important. But also, yeah, being able to stand in your sovereignty and not think that getting involved with someone in a romantic relationship is going to solve any problems. Because sometimes people harbor that fantasy that everything's going to get sorted out if they give themselves to someone. And it could actually very easily make their lives worse, complicate their lives. So appreciating your um, freedom and your independence from somebody else is so key. So if you are, since this is a higher message, for those people who have been on the fence about whether or not to um, become independent from another person, this might be your key. Of course, this is a YouTube reading. This is not real life for you, and you have to make important decisions based on more than a YouTube video. I hate to insult anybody's intelligence, but I just feel like I have to say that. What crosses you is the Star card. This could be an Aquarius person who is not really good for you. This can also be about not having faith. If anybody remembers, there's this book by the late Wayne Dyer that was called I'll See It When I Believe It, because the saying is usually I'll believe it when I see it. And so that tangibility factor of needing proof of something before we can take action or we can feel something is so commonplace. But he flipped the script and said it the other way to imply that first we need to visualize or have in our mind what it is that we want, and then we will see the results of that. Then it will materialize or crystallize. Because this is in a challenge position, you may not feel like it's ever going to happen that you'll find the right person. And if you believe that, it could very possibly be true. This is why, even if you've been through a lot, you have to, this is in Law of Attraction, Esther Hicks says, clean up your vibration, because it's so easy to fall back on negative thinking. And I am totally not in favor of, not gaslighting, spiritual or psychological bypassing, where you're just good vibes only. I don't believe that that is healthy. I don't believe that it's possible. I think we always, sometimes we're in a foul mood or we're um, not happy within a relationship, and we have to face that music if that's the case, and not, take it out on trivial things, because we really have the serious problem of incompatibility within a relationship. So anyway, okay, this is the card. What's coming in is the Five of Cups. This is the card of grieving the loss of something. It could be like really, um, to me, this is the stage before you make your move. Like, so for instance, if you have been resisting getting divorced because you feel that that would be a sign that you have failed at something, or that you were throwing in the towel, it could be like that you see the, I got my, see, this is an amethyst magic wand. But you see that with the Five of Cups, that you have to acknowledge your grief, acknowledge that you're hurting, and then it will go away faster, I feel. I think that's a paradox of life, that people assume that if they ignore something, it's going to go away, when the opposite is true. When you face it, when you grieve it, you come out the other side and you're stronger for it. The outcome is the Temperance card. This is as above, so below. This is associated with Sagittarius, so I suppose there's a possibility that this person is someone that you want to be with, but it can also be a person that that would be good for you is somebody who is a spiritual partner. Because I said as above, so below. The above part can be the spiritual, but we're not always, even if we're into spirituality more than the average person, we're not constantly talking about it. And so we have to realize that being on the same page with somebody spiritually is a great way to stay together. And anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you'd like a private reading with me, please check out my website, rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.